Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy B, and today we're going to be going over some migration transfer updates that happened during this G2 window prior to registration closing a number of days ago. As always, if you enjoy the content and you'd like to see more like this, make sure you throw us out and let us know down below. Special shout out, of course, to the Unk News Network for UNN. Again, if you guys want to follow their posts, you just go on the official COD Discord, go over here to written content, and you can find them over here. I'll also have a link to this as well in case you would like to follow them directly. Of course, your boy already is. Good stuff, as a great way to generate some leads, if you will. As we hit more of an expanded version of the short form content, I'll have a link to their stuff down below and maybe in the pinned comment as well. So I reached out to a few peeps here. We asked 4 questions. How was your experience there? Why did you leave? Why choose that kingdom to migrate to? And then what are you most looking forward to in the kingdom that you are migrating to? So kind of, I guess, a 2-parter on 3 and 4. But let's go ahead and dive right in. So first person we got something from here is going to be DD, my boy Double D, Don Davis. So again, number 1 says his experience was confusing but fun PvP-wise. 2-0 in KVKs with victories over WAO, TFS, and Echo NTS 25AL. Number 2, the SSG part of Rage, and again, DD coming from Rage, right? So leaving them. All left, Rage equals kind of BDO now. He said, I followed my group or server SSG. I was in server 363 SSG at the time before BDO merged into our kingdom. Most looking forward to, says maturity, experience, intense KVKs, and a place to settle. Thanks for that. Tsimos gives us a little bit more. Again, was in TFS, right? So it says, my experience at TFS was great, especially the first seasons. I joined after the Noir drama because I needed a new place, a new community with some friends who were also into war with me. First 2 seasons I was there 4 to 5 months. TFS was active, our war leads were doing great, and the system was fair. I am an EU player, and I was happy to see that there was active war leading during my time. EU time zone war leader was Tiny, who after many disagreements with Jason decided to migrate elsewhere. Right, Tiny ended up going to 167. TFS was building up again from the ground up, and I made friends with many people who came over to help the rebuild. Any problems we faced, we could talk to R4s, and they would note it, work on it, etc. The performance of each player was uploaded 2 to 3 times a week online, so I knew what to expect. Officers were open to suggestions about improving the AP system. Cleanups were good. KVKs were fun and interesting. But the last 3 seasons, TFS felt like a kingdom like a different kingdom than I had initially joined. Jason was, as many people will say, missing for almost 2 or 3 seasons with someone else online in his account. Officers were changing every month, and TFS was lacking critical positions at times. Building, events, war leads, row. Fluffy Waffles, who joined TFS, found himself having to be war leading because there wasn't anyone to do it. And Anfernee? Oh, I said that right. Even though he had quit his officer role, had to involve in a war lead against NXW because there simply wasn't anyone from R4 able to do it. EU time zone downtime at 4 to 5 people online, so you could say it was dead, which was putting lots of pressure on those 4 to 5. I notified the officers of these problems many times, but the only, and now this is where I have to go here. Let me see, nobody's responded many times, but the only responses I was getting was, it is what it is. If I don't like it, I should leave or migrate out, and eventually I did. I cross-referenced it with my friends who were in TFS, and we all were getting the same response over and over. Many left the 2 months. And then 2 to 3, we have, right, so last season, my closest CallofDragons friends eventually left to other kingdoms, ES, Echo, W, Rage. I was going to stay. We'll let one out. In TFS, 1 more season to decide, and maybe even stay if things seemed to not be doomed. When the KVK was declared a Diplo failure and a dead one for TFS, I messaged to some alliance that my friends had gone there and asked their opinions. Friends in Echo did give me the most positive opinions regarding officers caring about the alliance, the interesting KVKs not dead in terms of war, roots of war, active chat, preferably in English, member statistics, requirements, performance, KVK data I could read online. I was picky about picking somewhere without inactive players at all, and if any were, the R4, R5 would clean up the kingdom. WB came out second. Rage and EAS tied third, but very close to WB. I messaged Sod and my closest WB, R4, asking if they could find a spot for me in their kingdom. Sod answered to me first, and I ended up migrating there some days later. And Echo, I expect all the above, and so far they seem to meet all the above expectations. Again, a little bit longer, but thanks, Tsimos, man. I appreciate that. I like hearing from, and this is never, I ask questions because I think it's important for people to understand, how were people going into the kingdom they exist in, reasons on why they left. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be the same anywhere or not everywhere you go, right? If you opt to stay, as an example. But I do like being able to hear feedback from the players and kind of an opportunity for them to share those things, right? Regardless, keep in mind, right, is kind of, with a grain of salt at times, right? Unless you're hearing this from a lot of different people, and it's their individual POVs on what they experienced during their time there. EvG side of Apex joining RAC, right? So I kind of heard from the group, crazy stuff. What were the reasons your group left? There's not much of a story to tell, to be honest. Apex was a merge of EvG and BXS players. We had different expectations on activity or / motivation to fight and how we want our season to turn out. The biggest issue for my people was the high amount of piloted dead accounts BXS brought into the project. One person playing 5 accounts, which made it very inefficient in general activity. Also, my leadership didn't get along with the other and felt misunderstood most of the time. Besides that, the season was great. We had fights from Zone 2, Day 1, until last zone, and had much fun doing so. Okay, held that one in. So regardless of the activity, and things happened within the leadership. Now I'm realizing that's what people were screening when I was holding my yawn in, I think, when I saw those pics yesterday. It was good. How did you decide on RAC? We were looking for an alliance that is able to take our group, but not overflow in power by doing so. Also, we wanted to be the night shift for once, which is always a big issue in Asian alliances. RAC seemed like chill and cool people with lots of experienced players, and especially leadership that is around for a long time already, which seems stable to us. I love the approach here on the whole night shift thing, or kind of like the non-peak active time, where you're going in to kind of assist and help provide them a little bit more 24/7 coverage. I just like that approach where it's like they know themselves, they know where their benefit lies, and that's what they're going out to try and find, and not necessarily settling right if that ended up being the case. Yeah, I like that. I like the different approach there. Okay. So we have the amount of rally garrison commanders is also a big issue or consideration, right? Plus, since CSSE was the only one in the last season that required him to be online. Okay, that is a person. 23, 24 hours, so C a day. BXS promised us to have rally garrison leads, but didn't have anything in the end, so it was a tough situation for him. Due to the auto-translating feature, it's fairly easy to communicate. For wars, we will see how it turns out. Awesome. Appreciate the share. Thank you. And then I think we have 1 or 2 more here. We got JoKeR from BXS. Says, my experience in BXS was always great. A great community and family vibes. I was with them since server 33 opened, and we have come through many seasons, some harder than others, but it's all good memories. I have met a lot of great it still hurts, with whom I'm still in touch. BXS is a family, and we will always play more games together. BXS is moving to Gen 3 for more chill and relaxed fights. I was in leadership in BXS, and as you know from leading projects, leadership tends to be exhausting sometimes. Absolutely. So I wanted to try a few seasons free of R4 duties and just fight and follow commands. I'm still in good relations with BXS fam, so there's no bad blood. It's just me trying something new. Man, respect. And then we get number 3. I chose MFD because of their reputation. I like the leadership style Abda has. Abda is an experienced leader and very rational, so I think I will have no problem following his commands. Aside from Abda, I know a lot of players here, and I know they have a very good, active, and stable community. And again, they've been building up, man. Like, they are on the come up. I don't think anyone can really deny that. I'm looking forward to playing with all the new people in the next KVK. I'm looking forward to those sleepless nights on VC and most. I'm looking for trying the non-leadership role, just listening to call-outs and trying my best on the field. That's pretty much it. Just want to fight with the new fam and get those merits. Haha. Thanks, JoKeR. I appreciate that, man. Good stuff. And then last one we got is Anf. I think Anf was, or this is Anfernee, so this is coming from TFS. So my experience has been really good there. It's a really fun community in which a lot of players became really good friends. I had a really good time there. There were some things that happened that one or the other didn't agree with, and for now, it was a better decision to get some playing time in a different place. I heard from some friends that they would be going to WAO, and I heard it's a really nice and fun alliance to go to, so that made my decision to try it out. Right, ended up moving to WAO. I'm looking forward to having a fun community to play in and have really fun fights in the upcoming KVKs. And I think that rounds us out. So again, right, we got 5 migrations here. Again, if you guys like this kind of shorter form, like shorter expanded form content, where we cover some of these kind of migrations and movements in a way like this, and maybe we'll try and do this more for the upcoming next G2 migration window, let me know. Write your thoughts, or maybe other questions you'd like to see. Again, not necessarily too much. I want to try and keep it simple and short and straightforward. And then obviously, depending on how much we get from the players is, of course, completely up to them. So really trying to kind of cover like where were people, the time they had there, why did they leave, what are they looking forward to going into the next place? So that way you guys can kind of get something that is easier to digest and isn't a dissertation, if you will. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this. I think, in my conclusion, when I look at, in most cases, a lot of reasons on why you're seeing people leave, and especially from the people that said here, right, it's whether it's disagreements or it's things not working out the way that they had intended or things being different and maybe expectations were not met in some areas, right? In most cases, these are some of the usual suspects. I think everyone has like an individual approach, right? For anyone that you see leaving, there's other people that will join, or there's people that continue to stay where they're at. So that's why I say it's really important to kind of take some of these things with a grain of salt in a sense, where it's that individual's perspective. And unless you're kind of hearing these things being shouted from the rooftop, or if, for example, maybe it's just the way that some things are in certain places. And some people like that style. They like that leadership structure. They like being in a particular environment, and other people don't. And so I hope that at least, if anything, you guys are able to see that there are many differences, regardless on for people that choose to stay in a certain place, join a certain place, or move on and go somewhere else. All right. If you got a good story you want to share with us, if you ended up migrating, let me know. And as always, right, for anyone, you can always DM me, if you're willing to share, whether it's a group, if it's an individual that's moving for an upcoming migration window, or maybe it's even the current one. And you think you got a good story to tell, just again, feel free to hit me up anytime. Always happy to hear. That's it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.